Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palates. I'm Aaron Loomis, and with me, as always, is June Liu. How you doing, June?
Doing good. Good Monday.
Yeah. So today we are talking about the La Gloria Cubana Serie R Esteli Maduro number 54. Basically, the number 54 is a Toro 6-inch by 54 ring gauge. Comes out of the STG Esteli factory in Nicaragua. The wrapper is Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro, and the binder and filler are both from Nicaragua. Cigar is priced at $6.99, and the cigar was released in July of 2016. So with all those details out of the way, June, what was your pre-light experience like?
In terms of the look of the cigar, I thought the wrapper had a gritty dark brown wrapper with traces of some tooth on it. Bunch of roll, fairly well done, providing a uniform give throughout. Things well pressed, seems tight. The slightly tapered head finish off with a nice thick triple cap. In terms of the nosing experience, off the wrapper I got cedar, a little bit of fake black pepper coming through. Smell of that foot, black pepper, cedar, like a rocky, rock-like earthiness to it. Cold draw, white pepper on the tip of the tongue, and this really interesting, musky, grandma's old basement note in a campfire note. I know it sounds not so pleasant.
Right.
It wasn't.
The wrapper was very uniform dark brown. A couple of veins that were present, but along with the seams, they're pretty well hidden. Appeared to be two caps on the head, but this is a very dark wrapper. It's hard to tell. Foot was a bit interesting. It was round for about 85% of the circumference, and then there was like a bump that was about a quarter-inch tall that kind of came out of it. It was weird. I'm not sure how to really describe it. And then it ran about like a half-inch into the cigar. So that didn't have any effect on the cigar at all. It was just an interesting shape. Two bands, primary being black, silver, and red. Secondary band that's red and silver and kind of denotes it being the Maduro offering. Aroma from the wrapper was like a damp barnyard. Foot gave a clean, sweet tobacco aroma. Pre-light draw is kind of that same clean and sweet tobacco finish that I got from the foot aroma. So getting into the flavor profile, June, what was your experience like?
So off the first third, it was interesting. I got a lot of a staleness to the cigar. There was like this underlying musk and dryness to it. Specifically, I got notes of stale bread, stale dry wood, but there's a bit of a pop in the pepper. Got some fresh ground, spicy black pepper going on, and the subtle campfire-like effect to it. On the retro, dry wood, black pepper, and a subtle dry roasted nuts. Finish gives a mixture of soft black pepper and a campfire lingering on for it was pretty lengthy. Strength and body medium throughout the entire first third. Moving on to the second third. That staleness kind of decreased a little bit, which allowed both that campfire and that spicy black pepper note to shine a little bit more. The retro picks up a much needed deepness and spice in the sense of a spicy cedar, in addition to a cream mixed nuts. Finish still that same lingering soft black pepper, but dry dry stale wood replaces the first third's campfire note. Strength of body, still the same medium. Final third starts off with the bread note returning into the mix, playing off pretty nicely with that really freshly ground pepper and dry wood. Halfway through the final third, profile becomes noticeably bitter, and that really caked down to my palate. The retro, most pleasing part of the cigar, in my opinion, giving me a dry wood, black pepper, and a subtle dry roasted nuttiness. Finish still long lingering with soft black pepper and stale dry wood. Strength and body finish out at the medium mark. So it's some interesting notes in the cigar, paired by some average notes.
Right. Yeah, initial draws for me brought a mix of wood and chocolate. A quarter-inch in, that chocolate fades back and the wood kind of takes over the profile. Half-inch in, a very slight char joined with the wood, kind of very reminiscent of the aroma from wood in a smoker. At an inch in, a slight metallic note kind of joined in and caused the char to leave the wood. And after a few draws, that metallic note decreased, which let the wood kind of come back to the front again. Retrohale was kind of an airy wood note. Not sure how to kind of explain that more, but just very light and fluffy wood note. I don't know. As the third kind of came to a close, that metallic note increased again, and that wood note remained in the profile as well. And strength was right at the medium level. Getting to the second third, the wood and the metallic notes were continuing on with that same profile on the retrohale as well. Half inch in, the mix of wood and the metallic notes continue without too much of a change. And then an inch in, the metallic note decreased some so that the wood kind of took on the primary note. And then an inch and a half, I performed a purge, and that actually got rid of that metallic note completely, which I was thankful for. And then afterwards, a stale wood note was present. As the third kind of came to a close, that wood loses that stale note and gained a little baking spice to it in the background, and strength was right at medium. And then getting the final third, baking spice is left. Wood kind of continues on with the addition of some cream. And then at a quarter inch in, the wood gained a toast note while the cream was in the background. At 3/4 of an inch in, toast is replaced by a slight char and the cream remains in the background. And then 1.25 inches, a creamy coffee note kind of joined the profile with a slightly charred wood. And then as the cigar came to a close, charred wood was up front, creamy coffee note in the background, and the strength had bumped up just a little bit to be slightly above medium. So in regards to performance for burn and draw, what was your experience like?
Really good construction in terms of the burn. Solid burn the whole time. Cool, slow burning cigar. Solid ash marks, 1.5 inch increments. Only factor not being a perfect burn was there's a slight waviness the burn line. In terms of the draw, I thought it was perfect. It struck that perfect balance between the cigar not being too loose nor too tight, right in that happy medium to draw in all the flavors.
Yeah, burn line was just slightly wavy, but always kept up with itself. Ashes held on in 1.25 inch increments, so I think same with you. I mean, it was just a little bit wavy, but otherwise no issues with it at all. Same thing kind of with the draw. I mean, just slight bit tighter than I prefer, but didn't cause any issues with the smoking experience, so no real complaints there. So overall, what were your thoughts on this cigar?
It's been a while since I've tasted so much staleness in a cigar, and it's not a pleasant note, and I don't think it belongs in a cigar. Luckily, by the second third, I thought the cigar became less stale, and it created a better tasting profile. But overall, I mean, it's still really average. I say this so much with General's offerings, and even after they brought in, AJ to do some of their blends. I think when I think about General, aside from like some of the CAO stuff and some of the Tarano stuff, it's just the same average stuff. I guess one upside is most of the General offerings are fairly approachable, not being too shrink dominant. So, it'll be approachable for a lot of smokers out there. But, I'm still waiting for that Journal cigar to like really wow me, take me back to the original release of like Amazon Basin days or something,
Yeah. I mean, this cigar had a pretty standard woody profile throughout. It was just a shame that that metallic note was present, and then really prevalent in the second third. But that purge, resolved that. So I don't know. Maybe you didn't seem to get that, so maybe it was just kind of my sample. Strength was right around medium the entire time. I look for a better flavor profile in a cigar. But if wood is kind of what you like, this cigar provides a ton of wood, so it would be right up your alley. I probably wouldn't go looking for this cigar. I think there's many other cigars that provide similar profile. Probably a ton across the general lines. But I mean, I think it's worth giving a try if you like it. Then maybe that would be something that you might find as a daily smoke. Price point's fairly good. It's sub $7. But that'd be kind of my extent of the recommendation there. In regards to our scores, I gave it a 5.33. You gave it a 5.87. How do you think that matches up with your experience?
The upper fives definitely had the construction of the cigar helping it quite a bit. But I thought the actual flavor experience was overall average. So yeah, I mean, high fives, average tasting profile, coupled by really good construction. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, my matches up well. I mean, I did average for the first and final third. I did subpar in that second third just because of that metallic note was really off-putting. Very good construction, which General is fantastic at. I don't think I've ever really said that they've had a really poorly constructed cigar, except for one that I can remember. So yeah, it's an average cigar. So take that for what it is. My sample had a metallic note to it. Maybe another one would not. But $7, give it a shot if you like it. It's a a fairly large ring gauge Toro, so you get a lot of smoking time out of it. So that's another good point. But kind of going back to the staleness that you referenced, I kind of call it like a sanitized tobacco note. And I think it's just like I don't know. It just feels like it's like if they grew tobacco in like a clean room or something like that, I would just feel like that would be what the tobacco would taste like, kind of thing.
Huh.
But part of me almost wonders if that's on purpose, because a lot of the times when I get that flavor, it's in like the Dunhill, the Gloria Cubana, the Partagas, those types of lines that are like, popular brands because of the Cuban counterpart. So I'm wondering if you know, that flavor profile, they don't want it to be too full of flavor, or, they want it to just kind of be like, it's kind of there, because a lot of people that probably gravitate to these brands are not like diehard cigar smokers that are like really searching for specific flavors and things like that. They're like,
Hmm.
maybe they're smoking on the golf course, or they're just kind of bachelor party, or just kind of like they pick a brand and that's all they smoke, kind of thing. So I don't know if maybe that's by design. I really don't know. Like, I've never really had a discussion with anybody there, or been able to, visit the factories and anything to kind of get maybe a little bit more insight in that. But that's just kind of my conspiracy theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but just my
I
thoughts.
think you're wrong. I think this tobacco is found in grandma's basement.
Could be, could be. Yeah, next to the mothballs.
Yeah.
Maybe. Any other thoughts from you?
Um, well, another thought is, the reality is Journal sells so many freaking cigars, and one of the main things that help them is because of these old traditional Cuban marcas, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna sell. You know what I mean? Like, most people are gonna pick it up and they're gonna enjoy it.
Right.
So
There you go. All right. If you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Be sure to follow us on all the social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. You can also catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.